In this video, I'd like to look at some simple bash scripts, and this time the emphasis will be on the mv, the move command. So in our first example here, I have like three little echo statements and the output of the echo is directed into a text file. So basically, I'm just writing three little test files to play around with. So one is 1.txt, which has the content, the word one in it, etc. And then in line 4, I'm doing an ls. So I will see the contents of the directory, and that will be the bash script that we're writing. And then these three text files that we made, and also we'll see the dot and the double dot corresponding to this directory and its parent. And then I'm going to make this dashed line. And then finally, that's my setup. And then I'm going to run this move command. So I say move 2.txt, which is one of the files I made above. And the second argument of the move command is 4.txt. And so I'm going to move the file to 4, which is effectively using the move command as basically as a renaming command. And so let's run that script. And there it is. Before the dash line, we had dot double dot main.sh and 1, 3, and 2. And then after the move command, line 7, we have the dot, the double dot. Now we have 4.txt, the main bash script, 1.txt and 3.txt. And we can see that in the first grouping, the 2.txt has an inode of 260. And in the second grouping, the 4.txt has an inode of 260. So this is, the inode is sort of identifies the file. So that is the same file. It has just been renamed. It has the same size. It has the same permission. So it's just the file has been moved, or in this case, effectively renamed. Okay, so now let's look at our second script. Okay, so in this case, in lines 1 and 2, again, I am making two files, a file aaa.txt and a file bbb.txt. And then the third thing, this time I am making a subdirectory. So I will be in a directory, I will make a subdirectory. And then I'm going to do an ls command. And so I will see the dot, the double dot, the bash script, the aaa.txt file, the bbb.txt file. And then I'm just echoing out my dashed line for my separator. And then in 6, now here's my move command. This is my focus. What does this move command do? This time I have the move command, and again with 2 arguments, but the first argument is a file and the second one is a folder this time. So the second argument this time is ccc, which is a folder that we made above. And so that's going to have, and then I'm going to do an ls command in line 7, and I'm going to see that the aaa.txt file is no longer in the current directory because I've moved it to the ccc subdirectory. And then in line 8, I'm going to move into the subdirectory. So the cd ccc, I'm moving into that subdirectory, and then I'll do another ls -sale, and then I should be able to see that, yes, indeed, that is where that file went. Okay, so here we have in the beginning, after the first ls, we have the dot and the double dot, we have the aaa and the bbb files that we made, the text files, we have the directory ccc. We could tell by the sort of permission string there, it starts with a D, so it's a directory, so ccc is a directory. And then we have the bash script itself, main.sh. Then we performed the move, line 6, and we ran the ls again. Oh, I forgot my second separator. But the line 7 is the second list, and now we see that the aaa.txt is gone. And then in line 8, we move into the subdirectory ccc and perform an ls. And then we see, oh, that's where the aaa.txt file went. It's down now in the subdirectory. And it should have the same inode, and it does. So originally it had the inode of 259. And the 259 is when we did the second ls, the 259 is what's disappeared from that directory. But it is now in the final ls, we see it's now in the subdirectory. So that was version 2 of a move. So the first time it was move and 2 sort of file names. And so it was sort of a renaming of the file from the first name to the second name. This time it was move with the file name and then a folder name, and it moved us into that folder. Okay, and then the third one is, again, similar, except I'm going to also move it out of the folder. So I'm going to move it into the subfolder and then back out. So echo AAA and echo BBB are just creating some little text files for me to play with, and make dir CCC is making me a subdirectory. And then I do my ls, so I see what's there. Dot, double dot, the bash script, AAA, BBB, and directory CCC. Then in 6, I'm applying a move. And again, just like the previous time, the first argument is a text file, the name of text file. The second argument is the name of a directory. So I'm moving a text file into a directory. So it will leave the directory that we were in and be put in the subdirectory. So in 7, when I perform the ls, we will see that the AAA has gone. In 9, we do a CD, a change directory to CCC. So we're moving into that directory. And then when I move to perform the ls there, we will see that's where the AAA file is. So that's a repeat pretty much of what we just did in the previous script. But now we add to that 12. And so we move aaa.text. And so we're performing a move again where the first argument is a text file and the second one is a directory. But instead of using a name directory, this time we're using ... which stands for the parent directory. So we're moving it back up into the parent directory. In 13, I'm performing an ls sale. So I'm looking at the contents of my subdirectory, and I'll see that it does not have the file anymore. And it will just be dot and double dot. And in 15, I'm performing a cd ... So I'm moving up out of the subdirectory into the original directory. And finally, in 16, performing another ls sale. And I will see that the file AAA is now back in the original directory. So I can move things down in directories, and I can also move things up in directories. That's the point here of this script. So let's run this. And here we see the original ... double dot AAA, BBB, the folder CCC, and the main .ss bash script. We did the move, so we moved A out into the subdirectory. So when we make our, when we look at the contents of the file now, the aaa.txt is gone. We moved into the subdirectory and looked at its contents, and that is now where aaa.txt is. Then we performed the second move, this time where the second argument, the directory or folder argument is ... So we're moving up out of the subdirectory into the parent. I perform an ls before I leave that subdirectory. And so we see there are no text files in there. There's just ... and double dot. And then we moved back up into the original directory and performed our final ls. And once again, there's dot, double dot, the A, the B, the directory C, and the bash script main.sh. And A, as we followed along, should always have the same. It has the inode of 259. And then here it is in the subdirectory. It has the inode of 259. And then we move it back up to the original directory, and it has its inode of 259. So it's been identified as that same file, no matter which directory or subdirectory it happens to be in. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you, this move command in bash. Thanks much for your attention.